Hello class. Now in this lecture we will see the limitation of first law of thermodynamics. So there are total four law available in case of the thermodynamics. Start from zeroth law, first law, second law and third law. So before proceeding to the second law of thermodynamics, we must know what are the limitation was there in case of the first law of thermodynamics. So that's why a need of second law of thermodynamics we feel. Okay. So the what first law of thermodynamics is, the first law of thermodynamics state that a certain energy flow take place when system undergoes a process or change of state. So certain flow of energy take place, okay, during the transformation. That thing is stated by our first law of thermodynamics for control mass system and the control volume system. For that we have also derived a expression also, but it does not guide this process whether it is possible or not. So whether the flow of energy or flow of work possible or not in between system and surrounding, that clarity not coming from the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, for example, if we talk about the example, then as a common sense we know anything in the earth may fall due to gravity towards the ground, but it is not possible like stone supposed to fly uh, to the sky. It is not possible. We have the common sense, but but if we want to explain this thing by mathematical expression, then it is possible. But for in the first law of thermodynamics we are not getting any kind of guideline about the flow or nature of the process, what kind of process may possible and what kind of process is not possible. Okay, so that kind of guideline are not getting from the first law of thermodynamics. Second limitation, work is completely converted into heat or heat is completely converted into work. That is, heat and work are mutually converted into each other. As per the first law of thermodynamics, if certain amount of heat provided to the system, then equal amount of work output we are getting, or vice versa. If equal amount of work, if certain amount of work is given to the system, then that much amount of heat we can get. So work equal to heat, I mean to say work interaction equal to heat interaction, means 100% heat can be converted into work and the 100% work can be converted into heat. That statement said by our first law of thermodynamics, but it is not true. For that we can take the example of our IC engine. Suppose Q of fuel amount of heat we are supposed to supply to the engine, then out of that Q fuel amount of energy, Q friction amount of energy is required to overcome all the frictional losses. Q water amount of heat energy get extracted by the coolant from the radiator. Q oil amount of heat energy get absorbed by the lubrication oil. W amount of energy in terms of work we are getting at the shaft, and QE amount of heat energy we are sending out or releasing into the atmosphere in terms of the exhaust gas heat energy. Okay, so out of this Q fuel we are only getting W, and miss all Q of fuel not convert into W because we are having those losses. Here is loss, here is loss. All those losses are there from the Q of fuel amount, the total amount, and out of that only very small amount are getting as a W. So all heat energy cannot be converted into 100% of work. This is a limitation of our first law of thermodynamics. But yes, there is 100% work can be converted into heat energy. Okay, for example, if you suppose to rub your palm, okay, all the work done by you can be converted into heat energy. Okay, so work can be converted. In case of the work, it is possible to convert 100% work into heat energy, but it is not possible to convert 100% heat energy into work output. Okay, so this is a limitation of our first law of thermodynamics. Another limitation, it does not define the direction of flow of energy. It won't define. For that we can take an example. Suppose this is a rod, Okay, and one end of this rod I supposed to hold above a candle, okay, lighten candle, then definitely heat energy, okay, come into the picture, because one end of this hot this bar at high temperature and another at the cold end, so there is a finite temperature difference in between the two end of this rod, so heat energy come into the picture, that is flow of heat energy started. As I told you, whenever temperature difference is there, that time only heat energy start to flow. Okay, so as I hold the this one end of this bar above the candle flame, okay, then heat energy start to flow from hotter to colder side. Is it high potential to low potential? Okay, similar to the water or similar to the electricity. Okay, similar to heat energy also, it start to flow from high potential to the low potential, or meant to say hot side to cold side, due to the finite temperature difference. So here we have the sense that it flow from hot to cold, but that not defined or that not guided by the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, so it's not defining exactly in what direction heat will supposed to flow. It says heat will flow whenever there's a finite temperature difference, but at what end to what end, cold to hot or hot to cold, that not defined by the first law of thermodynamics. So this is another limitation of first law. After that, it does not provide or and specify sufficient condition to process take place. Okay, it does not provide any and specify sufficient condition to process take place. So to have a particular process, what are the the condition are have to match that are not guided by the first law of thermodynamics. So to overcome all those guidelines, those drawbacks or limitation, we move for or we supposed to develop, or the evolution of the second law of thermodynamics is there. Okay, so that's why all the limitation of the first law of thermodynamics get overcome, or their answer given in the second law of thermodynamics. Okay, so we will see the second law of thermodynamics in further lecture. Thank you.